Discussion of 2017, and today we are starting off this year with a review of Sherlock Season 4.
Yep, so Sherlock Season 4, it's the fourth season.
We really loved the other three seasons.
They're all great. We all think Season 2 is the best. We all think Season 3 is also really good, and Season 1 is great. And anyway, so, all that aside, Season 4 was a mixed bag, but it was still, I think, all in all, I still think it's a good season.
I'd say it was still good.
It had arguably the best episode of the show in it, but it was a good season.
Here's why, if you want to give my quick thoughts on the season, like, first episode, awful. Second episode, amazing. Third episode, it was really convoluted.
Okay, so I say we do this episode by episode. So we'll go to the first one because I think that's the one where we'll have the most
Margaret Thatcher.
A lot of consensus.
Nothing about it made sense. It was okay up until they realized. Up until the guy tries to come and kill Sherlock. Up to that point, it was like a normal Sherlock episode, and then it went completely off the rails. The whole mystery of the episode didn't matter. It was like a Family Guy episode where like they would do some crazy convoluted thing to get to the point of the episode, but it was like as a joke. This show did it like
episode
for real.
was literally 50% montage.
I know there's
so
like
many
montages.
It was just the script was like terrible. They clearly rushed this episode.
I didn't hate it as much as them, but like there were like some of the action was, even though it was kind of dumb, it was kind of cool. Like some of it was kind of cool. I'm giving like the few good things here, okay? I don't know, like there were some good scenes with like Mary and like Sherlock and Watson. It was kind of like the way, I don't know, the other episodes, like they still had Mary as a part of the show, but it didn't seem like she was almost interfering. And in this episode, it literally felt like she was like, even like one part, it's like, oh, should I go or should John go? It's like, what? This isn't how it works. Like it's just like John and Sherlock go solve mysteries. No, it's just like that's like. Like, you know, like, that's how it goes. Like, I get she was a secret agent, but, like, you know, like, that's just, I don't know, the show is about them two doing stuff, and it just, I don't know, like, there was some cool stuff, like, I think all the stuff with, like, the Samara, like, going to Samara, whatever, like, the death thing, I thought that was, I thought that was actually kind of...
Why did she go? Like, they dragged her down within, like, 5 minutes, and then she got attacked. It was just, like, a complete waste of, like, 10 minutes.
Guys,
the way, actually, one more thing. The way, the way she gets killed, obviously I know we're all losing our shit about that. The only good thing is, like, it kind of made like, they were setting up where it was, like, kind of like, oh, well, Sherlock egged her on, like, kind of, like, kept doing his thing, and, like, she kept telling her to stop, so that's how, like, Sherlock would feel bad. I'm like, that makes sense. And then they do where she shoots, and then everything slows down except for Mary. She can jump in front of the bullet. Like, what? Like, how? That made no sense.
So, no, it was a bad episode.
Yeah, it's also the fact that
the only ever like bad.
I'd give it
the first episode of Sherlock. I legitimately
hate season 1, episode 2.
Like it's just supposed to be my biggest issue with this episode is that it just killed. Is that first off they handle the death of Mary is just how it's boring and really inconsistent, and the death of Mary, which should be this really sad and tragic thing, is just treated as this. Is pretty much just done in the most pathetic way possible, where she stupidly sacrifices herself in front of the bullet, and there's this pointless assassin subplot where this guy is going after Mary because, like he said, the English woman betrayed me. First off, that could be anyone.
It was kind of a cool, like, some of the action scenes there were kind of cool, or like, I don't know, like that, her story I thought was kind of cool, like that. This is like, I don't know if I had to rate this episode. This is what I'd give it, maybe 6, 5.5, probably 5.5.
I was gonna ask you guys,
like, these are the okay things, but not
it's just my biggest issue with Mary's death is that they did nothing to earn it.
Yeah, I just think it was bad.
It was just handled poorly, and it's just also the fact that like you don't get to, that afterwards. John just blamed Sherlock for this for no reason whatsoever.
They kind of gave him a reason where, like, she kept saying, stop egging this person on, and then they shot them. So I get that, but, like, it also was ridiculous that she jumped in front of him.
Yeah, it was it was a bad
the worst episode of the season.
I'd agree with pretty much most of that. It
Moving
just
on to
wasn't
episode 2.
great. Episode 2 was great. Though.
Yeah, episode 2 was
I did like the
arguably
beginning
best
of the last
show.
episode. That was the only good part of it.
It's definitely arguably one of the best episodes
Blind
of the show
Detective
since
was
the
great.
Rock and Bond fall.
Amazing. Maybe the best one of the whole show.
And it's both because that of the episodes in the season, it's without a doubt the darkest. Because like,
Well, I mean,
Actually,
the
no,
real problem
to me,
was
yeah.
darker to me, but I think it was really dark. There was a lot of tension. I think every scene worked. I think
I thought
every
it was the lightest
element
in
of
the
the
season
plot.
somehow. I don't know. Even though Sherlock was light.
lightest.
Yes, I do, because I think like you all kind of knew it was going to go well in the end. There was a good amount of
Yeah.
jokes throughout, but not like, I don't know.
It was...
And people were getting killed left, right, and center, like in the final problem in the first episode. I thought it
And
was the lightest of the season. I
the
thought
whole
they made it better.
montage
Yeah, there's
of him finding out that it's like anyone could be killing
Oh,
him.
that
Just
scene was
great. That was a
amazing. That was,
classic
like-
Sherlock moment.
because
It's
like
just-
for me
go
the
ahead.
best thing about that episode is because it's the first time where Sherlock is on drugs, but he's not in control of it.
Yeah.
Because like he's just hallucinating everywhere. He's like on the street. He looks like he's never even shaved, and
Yeah.
Cumberbatch arguably gives his best performance as Sherlock
And
Holmes in this
And
episode.
you could argue that Culverton Smith is the best villain of the whole show.
Yeah,
Like, I
Covington
think
Smith
great.
is a
Arguably, I
fantastic
think he's
villain.
possibly better than Moriarty.
I
Really?
I
always
like Moriarty
found-
just a little.
I
bit.
always found Moriarty kind of too silly for no reason.
I disagree.
I kinda
I think
feel like-
Moriarty's the best TV
Yeah, it's mostly
villain
because
of all time.
It's mostly
So,
because
you're
he's
wrong.
goofy, but he's goofy at the right moments.
Whoa.
And like going back to like
I'd argue-
Covington Smith is a
What about the serial killer part?
oh shit the serial.
He's just like,
My
I'm a
favorite
serial
scene-
killer. He's
My
just, like,
favorite scene
awkwardly
with
talking
probably
to
one of my
kids.
favorite moments with Covington Smith is when like is probably for me one of the most unsettling is when like he's in this room with a bunch of kids and like Sherlock is making a deduction that he's a serial killer, and so like and like Covington Smith says, well, maybe says that kind of like to be a serial killer you have to have a significant style, and he's all doing this in front of the kids, and a big theme of that episode is mostly about duality and how we perceive people versus what we actually see them as. And like the way they handled John's grief over Mary's death was just absolutely tragic, and the scene where, and for me probably the most disturbing scene in the entire episode, arguably the most disturbing scene in all Sherlock, is when where Covington Smith's daughter comes up, and you get to see, and Sherlock thinks that she's the reason why she's been going after Covington Smith. But it turns out she wasn't with him that whole time. Then, Sherlock goes on this another drug bender, and Covington Smith is just laughing at him, and just, that scene, it just
It was just a great episode. Like the acting was great. I like the way it was written. I like the way the story played out. I thought
scary villain.
Yeah, I liked everything with Sherlock being. I think the whole vibe of the episode was just very unsettling to go along with Sherlock's kind of drug problem, and I thought this was easily the best episode 2 of the show, and even though it was a standalone story, it felt like it mattered. It felt like things that were bad could have happened. I think the plot was tighter than most Sherlock. It still had some convoluted stuff in it, like every Sherlock episode ever has, but I think it was a very good cohesive plot. I think I just thought it was a great episode. It was it might be my favorite episode of the show. I think it possibly is my favorite episode of the whole series. It was just a good episode. I think TV shows and certain episodes of stuff are getting slightly overrated. I think as soon as we get a good episode of something or a good thing, the show can kind of get overrated. But I think this was a legitimately great TV show episode, and it was definitely the high point of the whole
it was
season.
absolutely the high point of season 4.
I'd say it was definitely great, kind of going in on, I'll be really quick with this, just a great thing going into John's character, how they're just when they're saying, oh, someone needs to be you can be human every now and then, they weren't even talking about Sherlock.
We
Where
didn't even bring up the
That's
part where
what
he
I'm
beats
talking
his
about
ass.
now.
Oh,
He just,
that
scene
scene
where
where
he's
he's
still
just
trying to
down.
talk about it.
Or
Okay.
yeah,
It was... Can I finish?
Yeah.
So, the whole thing was, how Watson was... this was kind of his episode in a lot of ways. It was all about him. He's just kind of he always wants to save people or whatever. And it was just oh yeah, you gotta be human. So that's why even it was really stupid in the first episode to have him kind of cheat on Mary. But at least this one, it sort of made sense that he's just actually at the end of the day kind of a person, not crazy. Or when he lost it on Sherlock, just beat the crap out of him, and how you could feel Sherlock like losing his mind, like he was actually losing his mind while this was all going on. Or when Mrs. Hutt's like speeding through the jail, and then she walks up and it's holy shit. And like he planned it all. It was just a really tight, well-made episode, and the whole Colvington Smith about how he gets to choke people out, like his sort of mentality, like that whole monologue he gave, like why he does it. He just likes it.
And so that moves us on to episode 3, where we have the most. It was definitely. I think episode 3. I don't think it was necessarily. I think people who are like getting. There's definitely a lot in it that doesn't make sense. I know. There's definitely a lot of it that doesn't make sense. There's definitely a lot of scenes that don't work. But I think for as many scenes that are bad in it, you have scenes like the scene where Sherlock has to choose to kill one of them, or the scenes where they have to choose to either save or kill somebody. That whole half hour
was intense.
Or like some of the best of the entire, like some of the most tension-filled scenes in the entire show. And I thought that whole time, I thought Euros's performance was pretty good in this episode. I thought she was good in it. And I liked the stuff that happened with the glass, like of Sherlock not getting to see that. But what we all think doesn't really make sense is how she'd be able to go one. Like technically, it's possible.
Makes no sense.
Technically,
even
it's
for the context of the show.
Even if she has the power to literally manipulate people to do what she wants exactly, like.
How exactly did she take over that island?
I get that she could literally like one at a time, like bring in the first person in the whole place. And get him and brainwash him and get him to tell the next person to come into the room. But it's just like somebody for one would realize something's going on, and more than anything, like nobody has brain. I get that they're saying she has like brainwashing powers, but like they're brainwashing powers. Like who has brainwashing powers? Like it's crazy. It's just
this is the only thing. I mean, like it is ridiculous, but like in a lot of ways, Sherlock is ridiculous. Like the show. So I feel like it made sense in the context of the show of what they were trying to one up. Like I get it, but it made sense. If you kind of look at it, she was starting to do that to Sherlock a little bit, like just to get him to do exactly what she wanted. Like she got him to like destroy Molly. Just destroy it for no reason at the end of the day, because there was no bombs around here, but she just kept like tricking them. So throughout, I kind of got how she just like manipulated people with the stuff they.
And the ending was slightly rushed. I'd say they could have easily wrapped it up. Like with like taking an
another tape.
Here's a third one.
Like, congratulations. Now, like guys. I just wanted to go back. I wanted to talk about, like, you know how, like, we praised how amazing and terrifying Colvington Smith was?
Okay.
Unfortunately, Euros is, in my opinion, a pretty bad villain.
I think you're wrong, and I think
she was scary in the show.
What about the great part where they finally the first episode is like, oh, he's a great man. If we're lucky, he'll be a good one. And then they finally bring back, he's like, oh, he's a good man now. It's like, oh, cool.
It's just the fact that to me, Euros as a villain reminds me a lot of Blofeld and Spectre, where where it's pretty much of she's been responsible for this horrible event that shaped Sherlock into what he is, in the same way that Blofeld was responsible for this horrible event to shaping Bond what he is. And to me, it's just when you really and because of this, it's just asking us to buy these ridiculous and convoluted stuff that just doesn't make sense in the series. And not only that, they try to make you feel sympathetic towards Euros, because later on you learn that like the little girl who's scared on the plane is not real.
That's where I'll say that's not particularly bad. Like I
agree. I thought that was good.
It makes sense that if she's like a mentally unwell person, and that can happen. What I don't really like, I don't hate it. I just think it's a little silly that they're able to have some kind of slightly repaired relationship. But it's either that or like they kill her. And I get why they decided at the end of it to be like, let's just...
It was a dark episode.
That we can, like, sedate her or have this be the better option. Because she is their sibling through all this.
Almost killed Mycroft. Because I love how Mycroft was just, like, kind of trying to say, oh, yeah, just shoot him. As, like,
also
screwing him over. Then
the Moriarty cameo was cool.
Yeah, the Moriarty cameo was great. I loved how we got to see him dancing in Queen. But one thing I do have to criticize is that...
cheap trick.
5 years later.
Yeah, just kind of throwing it after. I'm like, that's kind of lazy. Like,
I know.
Is it, though? Like, I mean, that's when they had them come in.
Yeah, and also, I do think it's just also the fact that to me, it's not it's that Euros to me as a villain. It's just the fact that like because like to me they try to make her incredibly sympathetic. It just doesn't work that like something this terrible as killing Sherlock's best friend, mind you, not his dog, because.
Yeah, I thought that was a good twist.
Admittedly, that was that's a great idea for a twist, but it's not executed well because, like...
Wow. How is it not executed?
Yeah, I agree. I think they did the twist really well.
I thought they executed that twist well.
And in the way, because it probably is, although not for sure, the finale of the show, and it kind of had in a lot of ways, like, more twist than anything else, a crazier villain. It was kind of, in a lot of ways, a culmination of what they've already done, just like how insane the episode was.
And it's just one last thing I want to say before we head out is like, sure, it's just that to me I kind of feel like it's just that to me I felt like I felt the villain for me like the villain in the final problem to me was not interesting, and I kind of felt that like that to me for a season that built us up saying that this is going to be the darkest season of Sherlock.
It was darker. I don't think darker makes it necessarily better.
I agree.
Darker doesn't excuse plot holes or
because like it's just there wasn't too many consequences aside from Mary's death and
20 people died in the final problem.
They literally just kept killing off people. So
like even when he got it, it's like, oh yeah, so you found out those two didn't do it, kill them. It's like, oh, like why'd you do it? Oh, it doesn't even matter. Kills the third guy. Like of course, it was dark.
And I think they did a good job of making that matter because it could have easily been these are people we don't know or care about, so why does it matter that they killed them? But I think they did a good job.
Yeah, it's just
establishing tone enough.
As the season,
doctor guy shot himself.
It's just most because I wanted to say is that this is definitely for me the weakest season of Sherlock. Most because season 1 was a great introduction. Season 2 was even better. Season 3, well, definitely not as well. Well, definitely a bit more divided was the more personal season of the three, and season 4 I felt was just for me just disappointing. Aside from one great episode, the season itself was just kind of.
Okay, so what would you rate it, Nick?
Like, if I had to give it a rating, it's hard because as much as I did not like Six Actors, I absolutely loved Lying Detective.
Yeah,
so
we're saying giving it a rating.
What's your rating?
I think I'll give it a 7 out of 10, mostly for the Lying Detective alone.
That's what I'd say. I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was like comparable. Like
7.
It's hard to say like to give negative. To talk so negatively about a show that you ultimately like. I think it's just it's upsetting when it's like all in all, I don't want to watch a show that's just okay on a whole. So if I put like the 6 hours that it takes, I think that I'd say it's 7 out of 10. I'd say like an average rating for it. Like I think it was as a whole. I think it was okay. Like it was good. A 7 out of 10 is a good rating, but I just think and this was a situation where they only had a certain amount of time with the actors, and they only had a certain amount of time to write this, and they only had a certain amount of time to shoot this. So although the directing was still there, although the tone of the show was still there, I think it was kind of a slightly lazier season, simply because that's what they had to do. But unfortunately, that's what happens when TV shows get so big. Like I can't think of a TV show that's gotten huge that hasn't, other than like maybe Breaking Bad or like The Sopranos, that don't.
The Wire had an amazing ending.
Yeah, but it also never got become
huge. Like the actors in The Wire didn't turn into Benedict Cumberbatch.
It's just mostly because I wanted this season. Because since this could be the final season, I wanted this finale to be like something to be a great conclusive story that pretty much
was good enough.
It's just compared to something like on the same level as the ending to The Wire or the ending to Breaking Bad. To me, it's just the ending felt rushed and convoluted.
Yep. Okay, anyway, so that's our thought. We all think it's a 7-ish. It's a 7.
Still recommend the first 3 seasons though.
You gave it a 7. How are you recommending it?
I definitely recommend the entire show. I definitely recommend the entire show.
Watch Sherlock. It's cool. Next one will be John Wick or something else. John Wick 2 is great.
Whoa, it's terrible.
John Wick. You want to argue about that?
I don't need to talk about it, but it's a bad movie. Don't watch it.